And there were gods minor and major, dragons old and ancient, fae noble and sovereign. And then there were demons, lesser and greater. This voice, again, not from the god, says, I have heard your prayers. What are you offering?
If you let my sister out of here, if you let my sister and my friend and my patron god Vespera go, if you allow them to leave here without being harmed, I offer you my soul.
You immediately feel her presence recede, and for a second, you feel pulled under, and you can see a hellscape before you as you vanish. And he says, where is safe to you, child? To you, Tamir.
Do I know of any native peoples in the area, of this area?
No. The closest ones that you actually would have met in recent time would be like the small village that was like a 2 days ride out of Magterra. They're not truly natives though. They're immigrants from Magterra, or not from Magterra, from Megaros. And the only the last indigenous people that you would have met before that would have been the tribes within the Sea of Fire.
Hey,
Do gods go to the Sea of Fire?
Yes. Maybe not on the day that it's not, but generally speaking, yes. It is the territory of Arhu, which is a city of gods.
is there a main city in the Sea of Fire?
Yes, it is Arhu.
Arhu.
So you could go to Arhu. You also obviously got pulled out of Megaros, but you could return to Megaros as well.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say Megaros is safe. Please return them to Anya's home.
Okay. He says, very well, very well. A hefty price you are willing to pay for this, for such a small ask. Are you sure you do not wish a little more? I am a generous patron.
I asked.
Wait, I want to say, before that, Anya wants to pipe in and ask, is there any consent in this? I didn't consent to having myself plucked from wherever.
That's true, actually. Make a charisma saving throw.
3.
Okay.
You are welcome to try to resist, if you would like, with a charisma saving throw.
Well,
Can I also try?
I was gonna say, I would only want to resist if it meant that he wouldn't take his soul, because if we didn't get moved, but
it wouldn't work like that. Okay,
okay,
so you don't
like,
resist. Vespera tried. She shows up just a minute after you, and she looks faint, and she says,
Oh.
"You are weak and brave to be out, godling."
I actually, if I can, with a very somber, remorseful look on his face, he hugs Vespera. And he says, you don't understand how much you already mean to me.
She seems a little out of it right now, a little bit faint, but coming out of her stupor, she looks up at you, and there's this curious look in her eyes, and you're not quite sure what to read in the emotion. If you'd like, you can make an insight check, but otherwise we'll move on.
I got a 15, by the way.
That is not enough to resist this greater demon. This demon lord.
I'm going to, as I say that though, can I secretly slip an olive into her hand?
Where are you getting them from?
I still have these olives.
It's yes, you absolutely can.
Okay. I give her a hug and I say, "You don't know how much you already mean to me. The thought of having you hurt, as well as my friends and my family, it's too much." And he slips her the olive, and he turns to face the god of fire.
What he said was, "Are you sure you don't want anything more?"
I feel that I have.
A way to get your soul back if you work for it.
By the way, Brendan, I also tried to resist and I got a 12, and I assume that doesn't do it.
The DC is 22.
Yeah. I could have gotten that if I had rolled better, but...
Yeah.
Hold on. I had to do a history check to get into this. So, tell me this, DM. Do I know something about soul deals?
I mean, probably not, realistically. However, I will say, you did roll very well on your religion check. So, you are not familiar with demons. Nobody from the Outlands are. The only people with familiarity with demons tends to be people who live in the city of the gods. And even then, it's more in the city's underbelly. It's kind of a byproduct of that. I will say perhaps you have heard something one time when you were in Leyland. And with your extraordinary luck, that you have in fact heard of this greater demon. And you know that he is a enjoyer of suffering, but he is also mostly fair for a demon.
Okay. I'm going to say, yeah. I want a contract.
His eyes light up and he says, yes, a contract. It will be written. It'll be written on your soul. And you can tell that he's forming something as like fire begins to gather on his hand. It seems to seep into it, like it's gathering elements, and the way he shapes it is like he's writing something out. And he says, now the deal has already been more or less made. You have made an offer, and I have accepted it. However, in my generosity, I offer you more in exchange for your soul. So what is it that you're asking that should be written in this contract?
Aaron, I swan to John. If you don't at least get something else useful out of this freaking contract, Altane is already going to try and kill Tamir when she sees him again, but if you don't try to get anything else out of this contract, I personally will go kill you, Aaron, the human being.
Okay, that's fair.
At least give us extra power if you can't use it. Like.
Or alternately, at least, like, get rid of this god, or, like, something. Do something. Anything.
Yeah. I would ask that you
get warlock powers, bro.
In return for my soul, I ask that you oppose this guy. What's his name? Severus?
Savus.
In all his matters, as long as I draw breath.
Yes, a perfect deal. And he takes it, and I'll let you have this one thing. He's going to mark you his. Where would you like this mark to be? If you do not have an answer, I will default to your forehead.
My right butt cheek.
No.
You could.
Um,
I'm giving you the option right now. I won't chicken out if you say that.
No.
Like the cabbage
The
patch.
demonic tramp stamp.
On the bottom of my left foot.
Like you're one of Andy's dolls.
I would say the made in China Barbie doll. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. He said he reaches out and he picks you up, so you're now dangling upside down, as and you feel this searing pain in your foot. And he says, "I shall
Was he
oppose
right?
him, and you will be my hands."
but does he comment on him having like stinky feet or something?
No, not
That's
at all.
He's like, these are some
He
good
likes
smelling."
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, "Can you take off your boot
Is
for
that
this? It makes it
lavender?
better." No, you were the mark is
likes
burned onto your foot, and the mark is a flaming skull.
Ghost Rider.
And as he said, "You will be my hands." So he has agreed to oppose this god. He has agreed to save your friends in exchange for your soul, but he says that you will be his hands. Now, this wasn't a deal for your soul when you died, so he currently now owns your soul. You are going to gain 10 levels of Warlock.
What?
10 levels of Warlock. But he will occasionally give you commands, and you must follow them. You cannot physically tell him no. And he says, "This will suffice for now. Should I require greater deeds from you, then I shall give you more power. And if I find your current meager divine power unsuitable, then I will erase it from you and replace it with my own."
He's gonna take your spark, dude.
This is some shock to you, Tamir. You were not aware that you had a spark.
Yeah. He is dumbfounded at this. All I want to say is I know this is really scary for you guys as my fellow players in this. But I ultimately think opposing the god of war is probably for the best. Anyway.
Demons never oppose war. He's gonna have some like tricksy trick up his sleeve to like opposingly not oppose him or something.
Also, minor correction: Sivus was not the god of war, but the god of suffering.
Okay,
And
fair.
even
But also, that's basically a demon.
Yes, he. I will say that this demon is into suffering, but he has agreed to oppose him. So.
Anya's main concern is whether or not this makes him more powerful than her.
Yes, he is. He is very powerful.
Oh,
Yeah.
Anya just gives him another dirty look. She's like, "I hate you."
Altani is just like shell shocked.
Yeah.
She doesn't even look mad anymore. In fact, she's just looking at you blank-eyed, Tamir, and all she says before they get whisked away by this demon is, "I was supposed to protect you, and now I've failed. And I don't know what's going to happen to me or you. But I can't do anything about it."
The demon turns to you, Anya, and says, "It's that jealousy I see. You can have power too. I won't ask anything so weighty as your soul. Make me an offer."
Anya's like, "You should know better than to try and make deals with the Fae."
Yes, I've heard they are tricksy. I have not met a Fae myself, but I will gladly match you in wits. Do your worst, failing.
I don't know, what's something clever?
You are welcome to try and make a deal with him and do kind of like a genie's bargain, right? Where you really short him by catching him in his words. You are welcome to try.
So I think she's thinking the deal would be that,
And don't explain to me why. Pitch me the deal. He'll do his best to respond. Does that make sense? So basically say it in character. Whatever you want to do, whatever the deal is, you could say, here's the deal. I wager my soul against you in a game of riddles, like, and he can accept or not. Or you can just make a deal that is very favored towards you and try to hide it, like
Or
you could even pull like a let's flip a coin, heads I win, tails you lose kind of thing, right? But the question is, can you slip it by me? Very well, let us match wits, little Faye.
okay. Anya gives a little eyebrow raise. She's like, very well, and kind of flicks her hair over her shoulder. And she's hovering slightly to kind of be at eye level with him, wherever he's standing. She's not close to him, but just like, yeah. She says, "You have to answer correctly 3 of my riddles. If you do, answer all 3 of them correctly in one try. You can't just keep guessing for forever. And if you can get them all correct, you know, like I can do your bidding. Anyhow, if you lose, I'm going to get Tamir's soul back and some of that little magical power that you gave him. Because I do not want to be less powerful than him. Therefore, with no strings attached, by the way. His soul and a little extra sprinkle on top for me. If
Already I see one problem with this. What you're wagering against what I'm wagering is not equal. If you want a soul, then you must bet a soul. And if you want power, then you must bet power.
you gave him both.
Insolent failing. I gave him your lives in exchange for his soul. I gave him power in exchange for his soul. You would ask me to give you both his price and his reward in exchange for something that is worth neither?
I also like to think that because Faye kind of tricksy, she was not intending to have it be a fair bet, a fair wager, because we're like
Yes.
than that. So she's like, because it has to be fair. And she's like, okay, fine. I'm confident enough in my riddles that I will bet my soul. But if you lose, if you get any of my riddles wrong, we get his soul back. And
Excellent.
Can I have to add in there or no?
Yeah. Yeah, all he asks is that if you are requesting power out of him, losing, then you should be giving power on your end of it. He's not opposed to a gamble, but he wants you to ante up with him. I have potentially one other stipulation. If I have to get 3 riddles right, but I lose on only 1 riddle, that doesn't seem fair. I think majority wins. If I get at least 2 riddles, I win. If I fail at least 2 riddles, you win.
That's fair. Look, I think you have to make it somewhat fair.
I don't know.
Either that.
Wait. Are you? Is this your character actually saying something?
No.
Okay, so I was saying,
I'm gonna make this as unfair as possible.
Anya's not listening to you anymore. She's like, you've made too many unwise decisions for the day.
You've met your quota.
Okay.
But
So,
so she looks at Altani and she's like, "What do you think?"
Wager my soul and agree to the terms. Otherwise,
Yep.
I'll be the collateral for Tamir's soul. But otherwise, I think the terms are fair.
Very well, your first riddle then.
The more of me you take, the more you leave behind. What am I?
Time.
No.
Interesting.
It's footsteps.
Very clever. Very clever. Fairy. Give me your next one. I shall not get this one wrong.
We shall see. I don't use my mouth to talk, or my ears to listen. I have no body, but I live with the wind. What am I?
Tamir pipes up and says, "Don't worry, take your time."
Only souls on the line.
Yeah.
The crop.
Ooh, a good guess.
An echo. Gloating, she's like, shall we do the last one? For your pride's sake. What has no cities, what has cities but no houses? Forests but no trees, and water but no fish.
I give up, fairy. What is it?
A map, you dolt. She adds on for insult. Wits for wits.
Very amusing riddles, fairy. He looks at you angrily for a moment and says, "Very well. Your word games were more puzzling than I would have expected. Always referring to these mundane mortal things. I shall know to expect this next time. This will not be the last you see of me."
I should think not. Both she and Tamir get to keep some of your power. That was part of the deal.
It was.
No
It
strings
was.
attached.
That's right. That's right. It was, and I will, for I must. A deal is a deal. And he reaches out his hand to you, Anya, in the same way that he did for Tamir. Do you take it?
Oh yeah. How does that? Yeah.
Oh, actually, I should ask, where do you want to be marked?
Wait,
Same deal. Yeah.
But do I have to work for him?
No.
Oh, okay. Anya's one for wearing skimpy clothing, but she also doesn't quite like what the symbol looks like. She's like, can you change it for me? Can it be something a little more refined?
No.
She's just...
This is my power. And he begins reaching. Make a decision or he's gonna make it.
She's like, okay.
See, bottom of the foot's not so bad now, is it?
She's like, fine. Bottom of my foot as well, I suppose.
Yeah, he picks you up in the same way. And as he lifts you up upside down, he looks you in the face and he says, "Now be gone from my realm. I am tired of seeing you." And he tosses you aside. And suddenly you are pulled from the hells. You show up at your house, Anya. As you reappear, Vespera appears with you. You've noticed that as she's expended her power trying to protect everyone, that she has become exhausted and she's become somewhat insubstantial. Almost like she's seen through static or water.
Like,
Where she kind of like... Yeah, her form is like rippling a little bit. She's a little desaturated, strangely, which looks wild, right? You've never seen anything like this. when I say that to you, we have like screens and stuff where you can just like apply it. Yeah. But for you, you would have never seen anything like this. It's very strange. And she is huddled on her knees, crying, and she looks up at you, to Tamir, and she says, "You idiot! Do you have any idea the lengths I went to save you last time?"
And I'm at home, so where are they?
They're all in your home.
Okay.
Yeah, I kneel down. Okay, I am going to kneel down, and Tamir is crying. He has been crying because of kind of the events. Not necessarily full out like man bawling, but like literally.
Hey, regular bawling.
Very somber tears, and he says to her, and I hope that she understands the significance to him that this is. He says, "I called out to the gods I was raised to believe in, and they didn't show up. But you did. From this day forth, I forsake my gods."
Don't.
Anya's like,
Altani?
we're so
Sorry, go ahead.
It's like, she
I was
says it
going
to you.
to say.
She says it to you all the time. She's like, your brother's such an extreme individual. Does he not know, like, middle grounds?
No, apparently he doesn't. Either he's fully an idiot, or he tries to be a genius, and I have not seen him try to be a genius since we crossed the desert, and even then, that was pretty iffy, because we were pretty stupid to do it. So, yeah, no, and Altani looks right at you, Tamir. She has been, like I said earlier, pretty dead-eyed this whole time, just, like, shell-shocked, and she looks right in your eyes and she says, "You disrespect me. You disrespect me. You disrespect her," she says, gesturing to Vespera, "and you disrespected me. I have lived and worked and struggled my whole life to raise you, to take care of you, to do everything I could to try and make you a better person. To give you any of the love that our father never would give you, that your mother couldn't give you. And you turn around and spit in my face and say it doesn't matter, it doesn't worth it, because you think that it's not worth it to save yourself. So you decide that your first and best option is to sell your soul to the first demon that pops up offering to help? That's not the answer, and it never will be.
I know.
Can't talk to you right now. And she turns around, she walks out of the room. She's not gonna leave the house, but she's fully, like, she slams the door in your face.
He's going to take a breath like he's gonna say something, but he thinks better of it. Yeah.
The little brother in him wants to be like...
But with that being said, all he can do is he stays silent and just continues to sob.
And then Anya looks at him and is like, not even an ounce of gratitude. What is my purpose here? I am with heathens. And she also leaves the room.
Vespera, shaking, her hand trembling, looks at the olive in her hand, and she says quietly, "I almost thought I lost you again."
Apparently, I don't know how to show people proper gratitude. And apparently, I hurt those closest to me when I try.
No, Talos. You don't understand. Just know that your spark is special, and you are not your own. and you have many siblings. And the exhaustion seems to come down on her like a ton of bricks, and she stumbles over to the hearth fire and says, "I must go."
If I make you an offering, will it help you?
No. But it is always appreciated.
Then I'll do it all the same. He gives her a nod. A bow.
I think we were saying more olives, and I was like,
No. He looks at his small wanderer's pack and considers what to give.
In fact, she pauses for a second and reaches out and she says, "The relic. The offering. Please return it to me." And you realize that you still hold in your hand that offering of the piece of your bedroll that appeared beneath your hand when she arrived.
Oh.
She says, "It is precious to me. Please return it to me."
wait, the what?
The piece of my bedroll.
Oh, because you gave it to her?
Yeah. I'm going to return it to her.
Did she give it back to you?
Yeah, when she appeared at the beginning of the fight.
Yeah.
It like appeared under his hand as he received her blessing.
Yeah.
And she appeared. With that, she steps over to the hearth fire and it ignites, and
Okay.
the home feels immediately warmer, and Vespera disappears.
I'm going to say
Well-
that Tamir walks over and about grabs his musical instrument to begin playing, but feels so far from home, feels so separated from his culture that he doesn't touch it. He just wraps up in a fur and curls in the corner.
Still, no, thank you. I saved your behind.
I'm just imagining Anya like poking her head like through the door frame, like waiting to see if he was gonna come over.
Thank you so much for joining us for Toss the Dice. We hope you enjoyed the episode, and we'll see you next time.